I know my hair's not the source of why I be, but my hair does says loudly, no, never again will I give in or lose a part of me in the mirror that reflects you, not me. The one that got destroyed the moment I stand in the hand of mercy. See, you have been a cursed seed from the beginning. 6,660 days of dominion finally ended through the third eye, transcending the box of human existence. See, I had dreams of faces equipped with the mindset of Brother Malcolm. I guess this is a lost outcome. In this mega mentality, it got you being an ATM machine for somebody to live like a king. Twisting poverty until it's the accepted thing to be truly. You're like your father, the devil. Thus, the whole world is in trouble. And I suppose we can't blame you for always seeking out that right angle. In fact, we thank you for helping to efface a crustacean with whited out what became known as a stolen legacy that was molded out of that same energy that said be, and it is. 1 plus 2,000 years ago, 3 of the bigger lies were told, and upon the 4th one, the seal became open, opening the eyes of the chosen.
All right.
Welcome to Poetic Praise, where we use words to motivate, inspire you on this journey that we call life. I am your hostess, Sister JJ, and you just finished hearing from the real true poet. True poet. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, hey, we're going to conversate a little bit today. So you tell me about the poetry world.
Well, in the poetry world, we got 2 types of poetry world. You got the slam world, and then you got, those of us artists that just, speak from our heart. So I posted recently, I said my words are, a reflection of life.
Okay.
And, we've been dealing on the scene for a while. I got an organization called Lyricist Lab in conjunction with Fort Knox Entertainment. And we combined this year to start this show called the Soul Sessions.
Okay.
And we have also, we deal with Tequila Suggs, and all of them help out with the organization and stuff like that.
Okay, Tequila Suggs, who's that?
Tequila is my new business partner that came on board. Her brother, we call him DJ Foolish, which is a well-known, what's up, DJ Foolish? And, yeah, he definitely been helping us out a lot. My business partner that helped start Lyricist Lab is Jamil Jacci.
Okay.
And we started off in October 10th, 2008, no relation to the Nation of Islam, even though we love them brothers. But we created this organization based on the fact to keep the principles of the spoken word and the 4th Amendment intact.
Okay.
Freedom of speech is very important to us.
So spoken word is a form of freedom of speech.
Yes.
Okay, and tell me, how does the two intertwine?
Well, from our perspective, the way we see it is that, your words should be your words, and shouldn't nobody have the ability to go into what you wrote and change what came to you from whatever you deem the vessel where your words came from.
Okay. And this community, is it a large community, a small community? Is it a secret community? Because a lot of people really don't understand poetry. They think it's just a bunch of words that you put together that rhyme, and that's it.
The spoken word community now is what hip-hop used to be when it first started. We speak the pain of the people. We speak about the issues that are pending against us, whether it's globally or just, in the United States. We speak on the issues that some people are scared to speak on.
Okay, so it's an acknowledgement. Is it healing? Is it release? Is it a shout out? Is it? Tell me what is it, or is it all of those things?
Personally, for me, it's confirmation and healing. To wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and not realize why you're writing, but you write just to get it off, and then once you read your own words, maybe a few days later, you kind of realize, what topics was really being hit.
Okay.
So poetry for me is definitely a healing process, but at the same time, you can't hold it to yourself, because somebody's going through the same pain and may have the same difficulty in life, and you have the courage to be able to get up on stage and speak it. You can be healing somebody in the audience. The biggest gift for me is that person that walks up and says that your words really meant something to me.
Wow. So poetry had, what you just said, it that people have come to you and said that it meant something to you.
Yeah.
Tell me, how does it affect the young generation versus the older generation, or is there differences in it?
Well, I think with the mass media now, it has a way of putting its influence into everything. So even in the poetry community, it's starting to become, a little watered down because of the motivation to seek fame opposed to just speaking.
So the poetry is becoming
Just like hip hop.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, elaborate a little bit on that.
Well, now it's all about the fame. A few years ago, the famous show that was on HBO, Deaf Poetry, it created a standard, and that standard is standing true today. That people feel like if they can't be labeled a deaf poetry, their words doesn't have value, and that is so far from the truth. Me and Jamil in our going through Richmond and creating open mic scenes, we've been blessed to reach out to children and able to do workshops with children and give them the true legacy of what words can do. Okay. And that's been like one of the biggest driving forces for us. So our rise to so-called fame in Richmond has been a slow one, but we are happy because we did it the right way.
So I have two questions in reference to that. So let me go back when you said the rise to fame and having the fame of poetry. What fame comes with the spoken word?
The appreciation, the people appreciating you taking the time to deal with topics.
Okay.
A lot of people, and not just in the black community, but in all communities, are afraid to speak about certain things. Mm-hmm. So they commend anyone has the courage to poetically play on words, but still deal with a real mass topic. My favorite poet, Langston Hughes, had that beautiful ability to take this mass topic, and he was able to put into so few words, and it impacted you the same way.
Now, one of your poets, Robert Owens, he's more like a political.
Oh yeah, Robert Owens. He's the guy. If you have missed the news all week, just go to one open mic when Robert Owens is there, and you will be updated on everything that happened in the past month. He's a unique poet. He's an awesome writer. I often tell him I wish I had that ability to write the way he do. He's so passionate about it, and it's been a hindrance in his growth as far as the slam world. Mm-hmm. The slam world doesn't appreciate certain types of poetry, and Robert is one of those guys that's been truly struggling, but not because his work is not good. His work is definitely up there with the best of them.
Okay, so when you say the slam world, and what's the difference between the regular open mic and just expressing yourself via poetry and this slam world that you're speaking about?
Well, the slam poetry world is a unique system of poets, team. It's team poetry. It's a competition. It's a group competition where they create themes. Okay. And they write on a number of topics. They get down as if they was in a classroom, and they collectively write poems together, edit it, change it, arrange it to, suit whatever purpose they're trying to meet for that particular competition, and to attract, claps, hoo-hoos, snaps, and all of that. Okay. So for us, I mean, I love it and I don't. It's like a double-edged sword. The poetry is definitely awesome because you get a collective amount of people dealing with one topic, coming up with this beautiful poem. But at the same time, I feel like the integrity of the poetry has lost a little bit of validation because it's no longer that one individual's words. It's 4 other people had input on how it sounds and how it should came out.
Earlier you said that you all do a workshop with the youth. So explain to me, how do you all make poetry fun or interesting to the young people? Because the young people are more so in rap. Is rap or sports? So how do you make poetry relevant to the young people?
Well, it's basically tying it into what they're into, and for them to see that it's a real unique process to bringing your work into existence. Basically, the biggest misconception that it has to rhyme. Every line has to rhyme, and you have to go into this long, deep process of creating a poem. But it's basically just sitting down and writing what's coming to you.
Oh, okay. And how are the young people receiving that?
Oh, it's very good. I have the utmost confidence in the youth community right now.
Okay. Now you're doing something unique with your poetry spot. you're starting to do it. Open mic for the young people.
Yeah, we were gonna. This Wednesday was gonna be our first slam for the youth. We have to push that date back due to a lot of the, changing the children trying to get into school. So a lot of them are not available to be out that Wednesday. So what we do is putting together a friendly competition. There's no real loser or winner in this situation. They all win. And it's just giving them a platform to let us know that, we really care about what you have to say.
Right.
So it's just basically reaching out and giving back.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Tell me, how did you get started into poetry?
I've been writing all my life, to be honest. I never labeled it poetry, though. It wasn't until I got a vacation via the Virginia State system that I was able to kind of tie in my writing into it being poetry. I remember watching BET, and I saw this guy named Talam Acey, and he's one of the world-renowned poets in the world right now. And it was his video that I saw playing constantly on BET that I was like, okay, that's what I be doing. And I became a spoken word artist in 2002.
Wow. Well, it's definitely interesting talking with you, and we're going to talk a little bit more, but we're going to break off. We have a wonderful, talented young lady that's going to come up and dazzle us with her voice. She's been known to have horns in her throat. So you all, we welcome Jacci Thomas.
I give you praise because you're due. I lift my hands in worship because I owe my life to you. Once was lost, but now I'm found. Pick me up when I was down. Place my feet on solid ground. Turn my whole life around. Came along and you gave me life abundantly. Took you as my Savior, now I'll live eternally. So I lift my hands, I give you praise, I bless your name. All of my days, I lift my hands, I bless your name, I give you praise. All of my days, I lift my hands in worship. I give you praise because you're due. I lift my hands in worship because I owe my life to you. I was sinking deep in sin, far from the peaceful shore, very deeply stained within, sinking to rise no more. But the master of the sea heard my despairing cry, and from the waters lifted me. Now safe am I, so I lift my hands, I give you praise, I bless your name. All of my days, I lift my hands, I bless your name, I give you praise. All of my days, love lifted me when nothing else could help. I know it brought me out. Yeah, love lifted me out of the miry clay. Love lifted me, gave me a brand new day. So I lift you up because you lifted me. 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 You lifted me. You lifted me. Oh, oh, oh. I lift my hands and I give you praise.
doing,
Be
girlfriend?
me. What's up, girlfriend? Sing praises.
Sing praises. Girl, you are awesome.
Well, praise the Lord.
Girl, I wish I had a voice. You know, I hate you. I hate you.
Stop playing,
See, it's
girl.
people like you to make me think I can sing.
But that's all right, because you doing it.
I do. I lift my voice. Praise it.
Yeah, go ahead. Work it.
Hey, tell me, how long have you been performing?
Girl, since out my mother's womb. I'm telling you. My mother's a singer. My
Wow.
dad was a musician, so I've been singing ever since I can remember.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. And you're also an actress.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I am. And we just finished our production of Barbara Ann Joins the
the
Mass
Mass
Choir
Choir, yeah.
at Henrico Theater. Thanks to everyone that came out. We had a great time.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and that was our 5th production with Rag Girl.
Yes.
I played somebody different.
You played a bad guy.
I did.
Wow.
I played the bad choir director.
Girl, and I'm going to tell you something. You were a good bad guy.
Thank you.
I mean, you did it. I couldn't stand you.
Because I'm sweet for real.
Yes, you are.
Really,
you
I
are.
am.
You are
Mhm.
Jewel. You are
Yeah.
Jewel. But you played that role. I couldn't stand. I wanted to throw my shoe at you.
Yes. But I said what all the choir directors want to say,
Yeah,
but don't get
exactly.
to all the time. Because when you're in ministry, you have to learn how to let God lead you. And you can't say what you want to say and be in the flesh. You got to be in the spirit.
You got to sing the praises.
Sing praises.
So what projects are you currently working on?
I'm working on a single. It's called Hallelujah to the King
right.
with a producer out of D.C. His name is P.J. Morgan, and the song is written by Chris Holmes. I like to claim him as my cousin. I don't know if we can for real. But it's a really uplifting song, just giving God the highest praise because he is the King.
All right, and you're also working on a short film, Christmas at the Bus Stop.
Yes, in
Yeah.
December with Sister JJ.
I thought I put that shameless
Yes,
plug
I will
in.
be there. Christmas at the bus
And you'll
stop.
be back doing the good character.
Yeah, I
Right?
will. Am I?
Oh, it's a ghetto.
I don't know.
It's definitely
gonna
not
be
bad.
as long as I can do it, whatever it is. I
So
can do it.
when is the album due to come out?
Hopefully in winter this year,
Okay.
2012. If not, the beginning of 2013.
Well, you make sure I get my copy. You guys heard it. I want my first copy, signed copy.
You know I got you, girl.
That's it, girl.
Yeah,
Sing praises.
sing praises.
So what other projects have you been a part of?
Let's see. I was one of the members of Virginia Gospel Mass Choir. We had a recording back in 2006, and mostly I'm doing weddings, funerals, bar mitzvahs, birthday parties for your toddler. You know, if you need somebody to sing, I got you.
got it.
Mary had a little lamb. I can rock that.
Yeah.
But that's and you can always find me in Richmond South District singing in the choir, Tower of Praise. You can hear me singing in the praise team in the choir, and in Virginia 4th Ecclesiastical Jurisdictions
All right, girlfriend.
choir. I'll be there. You see me.
Which one do you prefer doing, singing or acting?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I prefer singing because people get to see the real me, the truth. When you're acting, sometimes afterwards, like the bad Miss Wanda
Right.
Wiggles, you know, they might think that's how you really are.
Right.
And since I can cry at the drop of a hat, I like for people to know I'm really crying.
Right.
So if I do all the acting, they don't know what's the real me.
Right.
So I like singing because
Wow.
that's me.
It's something going on out there, boy. You hear the ambulance going.
We
girl.
hot up
We
in
hot.
here,
That's
okay?
what it is.
They coming to put the
roof
fire
is on
out.
Fire. Girl, that was your voice. You done brought in the police, girl.
Sing praises.
But tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
You can hit me up on Facebook. There, I'm Jacci Holmes Thomas. That's Jacci Holmes Thomas. You can hit me on Twitter at Jacci1112. And again, like I said, weddings, funerals, bar mitzvahs. Check me out.
Girl, it was nice having you. You come back and see us again.
I will, girl.
Sing
praises.
We was having a wonderful conversation about the importance of poetry and giving us the different aspects of poetry. So, tell me in your poetry spot some of the different elements that you have there, because I've been there and I know that you don't have all poets.
No, at the Soulcase experience, we welcome any type of artist. Whether you draw, whether you dance, whether you sing, whether you just want to get up there and say how good your day was. At the Soul Case Experience, we allow you to do that. We're based out of Royal, Club of Royals, which is located at 401 East Gray Street in Richmond, Virginia. We're there every Wednesday from 8 until, if the crowd still rock, we rock. We didn't leave till 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I had to leave you guys. You guys going
We didn't
too
leave
far.
till 1 o'clock last Wednesday.
That was worse than partying, Jokers.
Yeah, it was a beautiful event. You know, we had a beautiful cast of people to come out.
You had some rappers there.
Yeah, the rapper Snug, which is affiliated with Fort Knox Entertainment. He actually brought a new element.
Yeah, he sang.
He sung. He actually did a poem,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
was a
he sure
beautiful
did.
thing. We had the singer Talia come through, which is the niece of a real dear friend of mine, and she was able to bless us with a little Jill Scott, a little
Yeah, she did a great
improv.
job.
Of course, we spoke about Robert Owens earlier. Have my man Fitz and Miss Coco.
Now that was a twist. I like how he did the poem, and he was like the bad guy. It almost reminded me of the movie. It was based off of the Diana Ross.
Yeah, it was like Mahogany, you know.
Yeah,
it was like a Mahogany type vibe.
Yeah.
And then we had
She's like, I'm telling you,
Oh, she went
I'm
in.
not going nowhere.
In the poetry community, we got this saying. We would like go in, and
Yeah, she went
that
in.
mean put it on the table.
She was awesome.
Don't worry about no judge. You know, we always say the saying that in the Soul Case Experiences that we family.
Yeah,
So you know, when you come in, you don't have to worry about nobody in this audience judging you.
right.
You know, so you're allowed to mess up.
You also had comedians there.
Yeah, we had a comedian, April, came through. She is definitely what they would call a staple. She's been supporting us since the union of Lyricist Lab and Royals. And she's been coming through. Of course, you know, I have to speak about Fix again because he's a dear friend of mine.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And he's awesome. And we just ran out of time, but I wanted to get him back on to do another poem. Breeze.
Oh, Breeze is phenomenal. I
yes,
really
yes.
enjoy
My
listening
boy
to that
Breeze.
young man. Now, you told me that he has really grown into this awesome poet that I am seeing now, but at one time he was a bit withdrawn. Is that correct?
Well, no, it wasn't that he withdrawn. I mean, in the poetry community, it's very hard. So you got to find your lane.
Okay.
You know, and sometimes what's been accustomed in Richmond is sometimes we jump on teams, and you know, just to ride with the flow until we can learn to find our lane.
Okay.
And in his beginning, you know, and I'm just speaking on my own personal observing of him. You know, he was just trying to find his lane. He's been a great poet from day one.
Well, I believe he has definitely found that he brings so much energy. And he's another one that he did a selection that was really informative. He's another one that informs you in his poetry selection, and that was awesome.
Well, his daughter is one of his driving forces.
And you know, he's always talking about her.
Yeah, his daughter
Yeah.
is definitely the rock, for him. So when issues come up on TV with women issues, that sits real heavy for him. And we had Miss Jo.
Yes, she's the author of the book. It's too explicit for this TV show, but check her out on Facebook, and you all get to see the book. But she is awesome. She did a now the piece that she did was basically,
it was very personal.
Yes, and I could tell because she was speaking about the men not stepping up and being men, and her father or someone's father not being a father, but how she saw another man being a father, and you can tell it was so passionate to her because it brought those emotions out, and those tears wasn't just tears
they were real.
to pull the crowd in. You could feel the passion of that poem.
Yes.
And I believe that every woman in that room, whether they had a father or didn't have a father in their life, they could connect to that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the beauty of spoken word. You're able to lay yourself out on the table and not be judged for it. And people are able to really buy into your story. And, it was just a story of a child struggling to know who their father is. So, and she was, giving her frustration about how you have your father and don't appreciate the father you have. and the poem kind of went into real detail about
Yeah.
that, so which was beautiful.
I do appreciate appreciate how you allow people that are not seasoned to come to the mic and share what they have. The young man that did the rap,
Yeah,
it was a
Mrs.
small little piece that he did, but that I could tell that he really appreciated that.
Yeah, I know that brother personally. We called him Cheeks.
Cheeks, that's
And
his name.
Cheeks, had a real struggle with being able to express himself. So for me to see him up there, rapping that was a true blessing for me. So when I'm at my open mics, I strive to stay away from performing, even though I have a little fan club that always wants to hear me do some type of selection. I want to know what I brought forth new. It's always about those type of guys right there. When Cheeks got on there, it was a real unique night for us.
I can really appreciate what you all are doing with the poetry community. It's informational, it's healing, it's knowledgeable, and it's comforting, and it's love. I really appreciate that. And you guys keep doing what you're doing. And you know what? You come back and see me again.
I definitely
All right?
will. I definitely will.
Okay, and before we leave, we'll have you bless me with one more before we go. Yeah. But until then, guys, we thank you all for allowing us to be in your home again. We hope you all have enjoyed the show with Jacci Thomas and my friend, Real True Poet. Please be blessed and stay encouraged. Until the next time, remember, there's a poetic praise inside of each one of you, but it first starts in the heart. Come on, Truth, give me another one.
Okay. Why should I be ashamed of our love, our history, our pride? My existence is existence. Please listen to this true prophecy. My life, it hasn't been that much Christmassy, the true endangered species. Before Martin Luther King's dream, it was a nightmare, not on Elm Street, but on Petersburg Street. See, we was the hunted before America's Most Wanted. You want it, you could get it. Yes, it was twisted, the lad, the single homes, drug abuse, and drinking had you thinking it was going to be easy. Believe me, your mind is wicked. 100 years of lynching has changed my range of emotions like the ocean where millions have died just for a ride, and others a noble sacrifice for their rights to be free, mentally, spiritually, you know what I mean? I guess not, because you have lost your backbone and your house has never been your homeland. Oh, Mother Africa, please help us, because we have lost our way from thee. Is it me, or is the world going crazy with a band being tighter in their minds to make them confused? Either way we lose. Don't look surprised. It's time to fly to the greatness of our ancestors. I hope you hear me. In fact, I hope you hear me, because the future is yours to mold by any means. Non-violent. Non-violent. I cry tears late at night thinking of Harriet Tubman's fight for something that sounds right. Freedom. I love you from your hair follicles to your toenails. You're my ISIS, the focus that keeps me going in this crisis. I love you. I miss you. You see, Eve was an independent woman, but she was dependent on keeping in wrong strain so that I could live the day. Dropping the thinking of the now, picking up the thinking of the heathen child. Just not my mother, Africa, the riches of the rich, her walk all natural. She didn't have to switch her thinking for a resolution, because now it's time for a revolution in the streets where society never sleeps. Whatever happened to words like family and community and unity? I guess it's non-existent. Got us thinking being black is all about the hog maws, collard greens, and the fried chicken.